Yeah, I'm Lorenz Rothohmel. I'm from the very south of Germany. It's a small town called Bad Waldsee. As a job, I'm a service technician, and I also produce titanium parts in the additive manufacturing way. So pretty busy in my free time. So it's not always that easy to get all the effort it needs to do the road races and the training and prepare everything. But yeah, it's like my biggest dream and my biggest or my most important hobby to do the races and especially the road races. Yes.
We're so looking forward to seeing you over here for the Manx Grand Prix. I know you were over for the first newcomers weekend, weren't you?
Yes, exactly. I was there in February, and it was my first time on the Isle of Man. And
Really?
yes, and to be honest, it was a little bit terrifying and also fascinating because you land there and you see the island. So the clouds were opening up just seconds before the landing. And then you see the island for the first time, and then okay, this is the place I want to be. So you land there, and I was on the plane with David Datzer, and then he said, yeah, directly after the landing, also with people there, it's a really special island and also really special place. So just give it some time, and then you will see it will catch you.
It certainly will do. Do you remember the first time that you ever heard of the Isle of Man?
Think it's a really long time ago. I was like 12 or 13 years old, kind of that way. And I think it was uh, with some friends, and they showed me some YouTube videos. And for me, it was like, okay, that's completely crazy. And the dream started, and also the way for racing and going to the Isle of Man started 6 years ago. I watched a documentation of Guy Martin. I don't know the exact name of the documentation. And the next morning, I was just waking up, and I told to my girlfriend, um, "I'm going to race there." And she was like, "Yeah, okay, let him talk." On the street, I only ride Harley, so no sports bike at all. So yeah, with the age of 22, I went to the motorcycle shop, bought some leathers. Um, then I just looked for a used bike because I've never done it before, so no experience. I just bought a bike and booked my first track day. Went there, bought some slicks. I don't have any experience on tire warmers, slicks, how to go on the racetrack, so everything was completely new. But it was like after lunch, it felt pretty good and confident. And also, I was the first time on the track with a 100 horsepower bike, and I was in the second fastest group. So yeah, the instructor said, "Oh, you got some talent." And already on the way back, I booked a second track day, so I didn't even make it home without booking a second track day. I went home and like my mom, my girlfriend, everyone was hoping, oh, he didn't like it and he's directly stopping again. But yeah, the opposite happened.
I love that though, the idea that you had this dream after watching the Guy Martin film that you watched, and it's all coming true. I mean, that is quite an incredible thing, and it just shows, I guess, that when you really do want something so badly, everything kind of works towards it happening. That's a really lovely thing.
Definitely, yes. After that, I was two times on the racetrack. So then I went to the R7 Cup. It was the first year, the first season in Germany or in general, the R7 Cup. And yeah, I just built some confidence to the bike, did more and more races. And with the time, it was, I just get known to more and more people. And with the more and more people, it was possible for me to get known to Jacques from Belgium. And Jacques gave me the chance to go my first road race. I think it was 4 years ago. It was in Hengelo, and I directly entered for the whole season. Never been on a road race before, but it was like this is the thing I want to do. So I just entered for the. I think it was 4 races. Yeah, I went there, and it felt a little bit unreal because it's the first road race, and then directly with all IRC guys on the super bikes and the sports bikes. They came with trucks and tents and teams, and it was my girlfriend and me, camper and a trailer. So we showed up there, and yeah, it started with a small steps and one tent, trailer, one bike, and this was the first event. And then I got known to the feeling of a road race event, and it's completely different to a normal track day. Also, when you are in a IDM, it's like a German championship. When you are there, it's like 50% of the guys, they behave like they will be next season in the MotoGP, or many of these guys. So they're always busy and important and need to be professional. And it's also important to walk through the paddock with some how do they call it, with a protein shake, and look really professional and wear team t-shirts and all the stuff. And that, to be honest, that's not really the way how I behave in the paddock. Of course, professionality, yes, you need to be good in your mind, you need to be focused, you need to find a way how to get as much relaxed as possible to the start line. And for me, it's like I pay all my bills on my own, so it's like I go to work. I got a little bit support from my dad, my dad's company, and also from my uncle. They helped me out, or I can have the camper, which I'm really grateful for. But the rest of the expenses and for the bikes, I all pay on my own. So that's why I have a complete other way. All the other guys, they need to have logos from the sponsors and do photos and call them. And for me, it's like, oh, who's your sponsor? And then I said, yeah, it's me and my dad.
Want to see a big picture of your dad then on your leathers, maybe?
Yes, I have a custom suit, especially for the Manx Grand Prix, and there he will have a big place, definitely.
Oh, that is lovely. But, again, it costs so much money, this sport, doesn't it? And
Yeah,
especially when you're
definitely.
financing it mostly yourself. And when you're coming from Germany, which is obviously just that added cost of getting over here, how long does it take you to get to the island then?
For the travel time, I think it will be about 2 days. So I have 8 to 9 hours to go to France. Then I take the boat to the UK, then go up to, I think the next ferry will go from Liverpool to the Isle of Man. So yeah, I think it will take about 1.5 up to 2 days only
So that'll be
traveling.
your first time on the boat to the Isle of Man then. That'll be a lovely thing for you to see when you see the island coming up out of the sea and see the coastline there. That's a very different view.
Yeah, I think so.
And you mentioned, David Datzer, who you were on that plane with when you first came over for the newcomers weekend. It must be really good to have that sort of support from somebody who's been over here and knows it so well.
Yeah, that was a really big help. So it was, I don't want to call it an accident, but it was more like yeah, with David, we had some talks and some beers in the IRC, but we never really connected. And then there was a event at the beginning of the year. It was a event also. Um, Give me a second. It's behind me, John McGuinness. I'm sorry, I didn't remember the name. It was a event in It was an event in Germany. Also, John McGuinness was there as a guest, and yeah, there we didn't just talk with some beers, so we had some serious uh, connection about the Manx. Yeah, so we took the same plane to go there, and I had the first rounds on the newcomer meeting on Friday. And I think the most funny thing was um, yeah, you go down Prairie Hill, still okay. Then you go up to Union Mills, and then we went to Crosby, and then he said, "Oh yeah, there's the pub. There will always be a lot of persons, and afterwards also because there's a nice jump." And I was like, "A jump? Yeah, for you on the Super Twin, it's not going to be that bad, but on the Super Bike, it's a big jump." And I was like, "I don't want to jump. I want to ride."
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I think I'd have just stayed in the pub actually, to be fair. When you turn round to look behind you, just tell us what it is, that picture that you've got behind you there.
Yes, picture of John McGuinness when he did the first round on 130 miles, and also he wrote on the picture, good luck at the Manx Grand Prix and enjoy." So this was mentioned from John McGuinness to my side, and all. So he said, as a newcomer, take it as easy as possible. learn the track. You don't need the fastest bike. You don't need the best engine. Just get known to the track as good as possible because 10 more horsepowers won't be or won't make you faster. What's really making you faster if you know the corners and where to go.
Well, that's amazing. And, he's celebrating 30 years of racing on the mountain course this year. So to have
Yeah.
somebody like that giving you advice, again, yeah, you'd want to take everything that he says.
Yeah, it was a really good conversation with him. I think we talked about half an hour, and there were a lot of guys in a row waiting for the for a signature and wanted to talk to him and do a photo. And well, we had a pretty nice conversation. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And you were just talking about that sort of first time that you went round the mountain course, and obviously you seem to have got a lot of the place names
Yeah.
memorized already. How confident are you about how well you know the mountain course?
I think it is exactly like David Datzer said to me. He said in the first round. He said his biggest problem is between Ginger Hall and Ramsey because there you have many corners where you don't know exactly go left, go right, go the double right, or just take the corner a little bit wider for the second corner. And I think this for me is the hardest section to get known to. What I'm really looking forward, what will be really fun for me is like the mountain mile and going up the hill also to the bungalow. I think this will be really, really fast and not relaxing corners, but this is like the radius I like to go on the bike normally. So two tight corners, I'm a pretty tall and heavy guy, so tight corners are not really tailored to my body. So going on fast or also on bumpy sections, they have a good traction. So that's normally the corners where I gain the time.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You have to be so physically fit to take on this challenge. You've obviously done road racing before, but 37.75 miles is quite a different thing. And obviously the pressure on the machine, but also on your body as well.
Yeah, that's a big step ahead. So since last year in August, I lost almost 20 kilograms. So I do sports 3 to 4 times a week, but at least 3 times a week to just be as good prepared as possible. And yet it's not all about the weight, it's about staying calm in your head. So being relaxed because if your pulse is more down, you can be more relaxed on the bike, and the more relaxed you are, the less mistakes you're going to make because in my first IRC season, I wasn't really prepared for the how should I call it for the physical part of the race. So it was like the first 3, 4, 5 laps. I did a pretty good job, and then I started to do mistakes. I missed the braking points. I just didn't catch the corner correctly. I almost lost in every race in the last 2 or 3 laps. I lost 2 or 3 places because I just made way too much mistakes. And then I just got the more fitter I am, the less mistakes I make, and I can go faster, and it feels relaxed. So yeah, it's a good thing, but it's going 3 times a week to the training when you do a full-time job with 50, sometimes 60 hours, that's sometimes it's just, yeah, you do it because you have a goal, but if you don't have a goal, you wouldn't go to the fitness.
No, you really wouldn't, would you? And you mentioned earlier your mum, your dad, your girlfriend as well. How are they all feeling about you going to MGP?
It's like my girlfriend is really happy for me. Oh, now it's my wife, not my girlfriend anymore. Um,
Congratulations. Oh yeah, we should say actually you've had a bit of a thing today because you've misplaced your wedding ring, haven't you?
yeah, exactly.
Fingers crossed you find that very soon. But yeah, so your wife is really supportive of it.
Yes. My dad also, he always says he would be happy if I go on normal short circuits and not on road races, and especially not on the mountain course. But he also knows it's my dream, and he won't stop me doing this. So he's supporting me as good as he can. And my mom, she's really afraid of me. I think it's like a mom's job to be afraid of her kids, and she's also not going to the Isle of Man because she says she can't sit there on the side and hope that I come back or not, and if everything happens, she couldn't take that, so that's why she stays at home, and my dad keeps her updated all the time.
So your dad will be with you though?
Yes.
That'll be lovely, won't it? And I think, yeah, I can completely understand that because, yeah, you just can listen to it on the radio and speak to you when it's all over and, yeah, just hear it from that side of things. And then in terms of who else is coming with you then, because obviously you need a team, you've got your pit stops and things like that. Who else is with you?
I have one guy. It's Rolf. I met him in the first year of the R7 Cup, and we became good friends. He lives about 400 kilometers away from me, but he will be also on my wedding, and he invites me for his birthdays. Sometimes we have a call, so there got a good friendship to him. And also there will be he's also technically uh but my main mechanic or manager will be Andy. Andy was also, I think he was the manager of the or chief mechanic of some World Super Sport teams, and also he had the IDM team in Germany where he got some podiums and also some wins. So he's really experienced also on the Aprilia. Last year he had the Aprilia in the IDM sports bike. So this is what I really count on him, because I can rely on him. He does a really good job, so I can focus on the race, on the mountain course, and he takes care about the bike.
Tell us about the machine then. What are you bringing with you?
I will go on a Aprilia RS660. I think at the moment it's maybe the most used super twin or sports bike, because you have like 100 horsepower out of the box. The engine is pretty solid for high RPMs, but to be honest, I had to fight like 2 seasons on the bike to get confident to it, because before on the R7 it felt more to be in the bike. I got way more trust to the front, but the big problem is on the road races you need power. And if you want to tune a R7 at that point, it wasn't really possible to get a good engine done in Europe. So you needed to go to the UK. It was the first year where they got the real super twin engines for the Yamaha R7. So then I sadly smashed it in Shimei in a bad crash. So the bike was completely done. And then the decision was uh, take R7, build it up for a lot of money, or buy a RS660 and have a fast bike out of the box. So the decision went to the Aprilia. And yeah, now after 2 seasons, I feel really good on the bike. It's a big difference because it's a real sport bike. The frame is really stiff, and also the angle of the front is like it's starting lifting up the back pretty fast. So you always need to have a good body position, and the geometry of the bike is really important. So yeah, the bike setup took me a long time, but now it's really good. And I have some improvements on the airbox and on the intakes. But the engine tool now is completely stock. And yeah, the newcomer meeting, it was pretty nice. We just talked about the techniques, about the engines, about the intakes and all the stuff. And with some guys, I shared some parts I have on my bike, because from Rainer, he's a 70-year-old man, and he has a workshop in Germany, and he loves to develop things for race bikes. And he developed an amazing airbox. It looks really nice with carbon. You can't see it because it's under your fuel tank, but it's such a nice piece of art. So I just
You know
showed,
it's there. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. And I
Oh.
showed the airbox to the other guys, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, you have this kind of airbox!" So yeah, I did some connection to Reiner. So I think also some guys on the Manx Grand Prix will race on this airbox. And yeah, I have a like Moto 2 fairing, because it's just a really big advantage. The original Aprilia fairing is like with a flaps you don't need. It will take you like 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. It takes me in top speed. So the Moto 2 fairing is also a really big step, what helps to improve on the straights.
And that's all helps, I guess, towards you feeling confident as well, doesn't it? Because you know how the machine works, you know how good it is, and that must make such a difference.
Exactly. Like building trust to the machine and to your bike, I think it's the most important thing. I was also thinking about maybe getting a bike from the Isle of Man so I can save the money for traveling, shipping, and also it's kind of a lot of work to do a carnet. So it's like documents you need to get the bike to the Isle of Man and take it back without paying customs and all the stuff. So that's a whole lot of work. But also on the meeting at the beginning of the year, John McGuinness asked me, "Can you race the Isle of Man on your bike? Do you have a good bike?" And then I said, "Yeah, I have a good bike with all the traveling and all the stuff." And then he said, "Take your bike. You know it. It's your bike. This will be the way." So yeah.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
tried
Sounds
to do
like
it that way.
never mind the cost. It's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah.
You must worry though when you're sort of traveling with it as well, just making sure it's okay. Because I guess, it's almost got its own little personality almost. I don't know whether you're the sort of person who talks to your bike as you're going round or whatever, but there's got to be a pretty strong connection there.
Definitely. It's like I travel like 15,000 kilometers a year with a race bike only in the trailer. So I have a lot more kilometers on the trailer than on the race bike because in the south of Germany you always have a long way to travel to the circuits, to the tracks. But yeah, if you're always on the bike or especially in Hengelo or in Horice in Czech Republic, they're like on the day before the races or before the training, there are big events where you go to the town and also there are a lot of spectators that watch your bike. And to be honest, I don't go away from the bike more than 5 meters because I'm always a little bit afraid that someone is touching something wrong or is putting it on the side. So yeah, you need to
I
take
love
care
that.
about the bike.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. So, if you had to think about the thing that you are most looking forward to when you get over to the Isle of Man ahead of MGP, obviously you set up in the paddock and it's all getting underway. What is it, do you think, that is the thing that you really are looking forward to the most?
Think for me, it's like the first tap on the shoulder when I go down Bray Hill for the first time. Everyone always says going down Bray Hill for the first time or every time you come back to the Isle of Man is like you just enjoy it. You go over the first crossroad and then you are there and it's like if you focus on that thing for 7 years and then you finally come to the point where you get the tap on the shoulder, or the first round will be behind Milky on the newcomers round. But yeah, I think this is absolutely the the moment to walk there where a big dream is coming true.
Oh, it's just gonna be brilliant, and, I mean, obviously, your English is absolutely amazing. Presumably, you've learned English since you were
Thank you.
very young, but sometimes I guess there can be a little bit of an issue with language and understanding things, but do you anticipate any problems with that?
And normally not. As a service technician, I've been in like 20 countries all over the world. I did some customer training in English, so normally talking in English is I'm pretty familiar to. Yeah. So I think also one guy on the Isle of Man, he has like a really, really strict or strong accent. So then it's hard to understand them, especially when they had some Guinness. But under normal conditions, I think there will be a problem with talking to everyone.
And, when you're over here on the Isle of Man, I don't know what is the sort of, food of your area. Is there a special dish that is quite popular where you live?
Really special is like it's called Spätzle.
Okay,
It's
what's that?
a really typical South German dish. It's like a special type of noodles, but they're done with so traditionally you just make the dough and then you have it on a wooden plank and you just stretch it off like noodle by noodle into the hot water and then you mix it with some there was some good cheese. And this is like really typical food for South Germany. Yes.
Okay. Well, we have a couple of dishes over here in the Isle of Man. I don't know whether you got a chance to try anything when you were over back in February. Kippers. Have you heard of kippers?
Not yet.
Okay, so that's like a sort of smoked fish thing, but
Yeah.
also the national dish of the Isle of Man, apparently chips, cheese, and gravy. You up for trying that?
Yes, I had it. Yeah.
Did you? Oh,
Yes.
brilliant. You see, you're practically Manx.
It's like just the funny thing when we went into the car, like Datsy and me, he went, "Ah, perfect. There's already Manx radio switched on." And I was like, what is Manx radio? And then he says, "Oh, I always listen to Manx radio also when I'm at home because then I always know what's going on the Isle of Man." So sometimes I also listen to Manx radio in my car, and
Amazing.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Probably don't say too much more about that since I work on Manx Radio. We yeah, no criticisms at all. Obviously, being out there on social media and letting people know what you're up to is such a big part of a rider's life nowadays. Where can people follow you, and how do you find that side of things?
So to be honest, I should work out that a little bit more, but you can find me best on Instagram. My name is File Rolo. So Rolo is like the first two letters of my last name and my first name. And I think I got that name when I was like 10 or 12 years. It was in a game called Fire It Up, and the first word always needed to be fire. So didn't know it better, so it was Fire Rolo and keep Fire Rolo. So yeah, you can follow me there and also ask me and support me. Really welcome. I will also bring
Brilliant. Well,
some nice stickers to the Isle of Man because it's always funny if you go somewhere and also in the IRC races, if you see that fans have stickers of riders on their bikes or on their tents, on their cars. So for me, that's always funny. So I also bring some nice stickers.
brilliant. We know where to come to get those then. Just finally, how are the next few weeks and months looking like for you? What's going on?
So for me, it's like right now I build up a spare engine to be sure, even if once one engine is blowing up, to have a spare one. I need to do all the stuff for the traveling. I need to all do the custom stuff. For me, it was really nice when I'm at the gym and I sit on the spinning bike. I just go there and watch onboards. So then the time passes really fast. And yeah, getting the bike ready. Then will be the second newcomer meeting in July. And right now, maybe it's also possible to get to the training week of the TT to fly there for 3 or 4 days. So this would be amazing. And yeah, then I hope I'm well prepared to be on Bray Hill and take the bike down there safe.
Oh, well, we can't wait to see you when you're over, and obviously, good luck finding the wedding ring.
Thank
Are
you.
you in a lot of trouble because of that? Are you in a lot of trouble for that?
Not yet, because uh, I just didn't find it this morning, and my wife said, "Oh, tonight I just hear that it fall down in the bed," and I said, "How can you hear it?" Oh, she has a light sleep. So now we're searching
It's
the
a
whole
very big wedding
bedroom and
ring.
putting all the stuff to the side and try to find the wedding ring. So keep fingers crossed to find it the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, we are keeping every single thing crossed. Great to talk to you, and we'll catch up with you hopefully when you're over on the Isle of Man and you're trying your chips, cheese, and gravy again.
I will be there,
Brilliant.
and I'm really happy to yeah to make it there and start the max.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Speak to you soon.
Thank you, Beth. Have a nice evening.